Good morning. All right, I'd like to call the Highway and Building Committee meeting of Thursday, October 13th, 2022 to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Carrico?
Present.
Mr. Dennell?
Present.
Mr. Hess? Mr. Tholen? Ms. Weber? Mr. Featherling? Mr. Long?
Present.
Mr. Hunter? Ms. Hudson? Mr. Smith?
Present.
Mr. Alexander Hildebrand? Mr. Gowler? Mr. Raymond? Ms. Foster? Mr. Wheeler? Mr. Seroy? We have a quorum.
Thank you. I don't have any public comments on my desk here. Is there any public comment? Is there any public comment? You're none. Next will be the approval of the minutes. I need a motion and a second. Ms. Smith makes a motion. Second. Okay. Ms. Hudson. Ms. Hudson, the second. Everybody in favor signify by say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Anybody opposed, the same sign. Okay, thank you so much. Next will be the highway. Ms. Hayden.
Okay, we have no bidding and letting today, so I'll go straight into the.
Oh, approve of the minutes. Oh, I'm sorry. Got it.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
No bidding and letting today. Go straight into the pay estimates. Pay estimate. First one is pay estimate for Kankakee County, Section 22-00000-00-GM to Gallagher Materials Corporation, the amount of $1,418.97 from the County Motor Fuel Tax Fund. It's for asphalt we used patching on the roadways. Next is Kankakee County, Section 22-00000-00-GM. Pay estimate number 6 to Vulcan Construction Materials for various stone we used on the highways from the county MFT fund in the amount of $2,157.29. Next up, Pembroke Township, Section 22-11000-00-GM. Pay estimate 2 to Gallagher Materials Corp. for asphalt used to patch the roads in the amount of $372.02 from their Township Motor Fuel Tax Fund. Next, Bourbonnais Township, Section 22-02-000-00-GM. Pay estimate number 1 to Grasso Construction for oil and shipping township roads in the amount of $41,333.17 from their Township RBI Fund. Next, Rockville Township, Section 22-13000-00-GM. Pay estimate 2 to Grasso Construction for oil and shipping township roads in the amount of $116,241.17, split between the Township RBI Fund and the Township MFT Fund. Next, Otto Township, Section 22-10000-00-GM. Pay estimate number 2 to Vulcan Construction Materials for stone used on their roadways in the amount of $2,315.84 from the Township Motor Fuel Tax Fund. And last one I have is for Kankakee County, Section 22-00000-00-BI to pay estimate number 5 to Engineering Resource Associates for doing underwater bridge inspections on 2 of our bridges, and the amount of $7,190.00 from our County Bridge Fund. And that's all I have for that.
Yes, sir.
I have a question.
Is that a 10? Your number?
Yes.
Okay.
Craig, when they go to do these underwater inspections, do they do that with sounding equipment, or do they actually go down and dive in there and look, or how do they do that?
They actually go down there. If they can get away with waders, they'll take waders. If they've got to go underwater, they'll be equipped for that.
Okay.
Be a scuba, or depends on how deep the river is at the time.
Okay. I was just wondering how they did it for sure. It sounds like a lot of money, but you gotta do it, you know.
It's pretty involved getting down in the river.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just for my own clarification, the second one for Kankakee, the 00 GM, the difference in prices for the CA16 material, is that because it came out of different quarries? I'm just, in general, it's more of a general question, because I know there are different prices out of different quarries.
Yeah, I could check the invoices and clarify.
It's just the way that you're organizing these. It looks like you're putting together all invoices for a particular unit on the same pay estimate and kind of grouping them together. Is that, it's a little bit of a change. I want to make sure I'm looking at your pay, this properly going forward, you know?
Well, give me a second
good
here.
change.
I'll
Don't
try
get me
to
wrong.
see what the difference in price is, and I mean, it should show on the invoice where it came from.
1575 and then 1530 were the two
Okay.
differences.
First two ought to be. Certified, 1291. 75. Yeah, different quarries. Under location, they show Mantino stone for one quarry with the 1530, and then the 1575 came from the Kankakee quarry.
Sure. So you're gathering all invoices for this particular, you know, section, if you will, 22 zeros and GM, and putting them all under the same one, which is convenient. It's nice to put them together that way. I just want to make sure.
Per vendor, and
Yeah, per
since
vendor.
Vulcan has quarries all over the place, then they all have different prices. And
Right. And you break it out just for this section so it gets charged to the right general ledger number. And then
Right.
other ones from those quarries will go to a different auto, engineer, whatever else.
Right.
Okay. That's why I just want to make sure. Before, we used to see invoices for each one when Mark was here. And this is, no offense, Mark, this is a lot more efficient. I just want to make sure I'm following the way you're doing it.
I could be up here reading all day.
Exactly. And we used to. So, no, that's good. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Anybody else? So I'm gonna need a motion to approve the county engineer pay estimate. Mr. Long, Mr. Fedlin, second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Carrico?
Aye.
Mr. Dunn?
Aye.
Mr. Hess? Ms. Weber? Mr. Featherling? Mr. Long? Mr. Hunter? Ms. Hudson? Mr. Smith? Mr. Raymond? Ms. Foster? Mr. Wheeler? Motion carries.
Thank you. What I'd like to do is, I'm gonna need a motion to move the other business since he's done with his report. Motion to move other business up. Okay. Ms. Hodson, then Federland second. Everybody in favor, signify by say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, the same sign? Okay, go ahead, sir.
First things, I'm gonna take care of I have a resolution on the agenda. Authorizing the county board chairman to sign an engineering agreement and appropriate county bridge funds to match Janier Township Road District local funds to construct a bridge in Janier Township. They have an existing location that has two 9-foot steel arches. Well, they're going bad, so instead they want to replace that with a actual bridge. And the cost of that is such that they're asking for county joint bridge funds to help pay for that. And that's what this resolution is, dedicating our portion to help them with the cost of the bridge funds, which is going to be mostly federal funds, but we have a 20% match. We'll pay 10%, the township will pay 10% of the total cost of the bridge. And then part of this is, and also the engineering agreement to get started on the design work for that bridge. So, any questions? Or
Mr. Hunter?
Has this been done before, Greg?
yes, engineer did one about 2 or 3 years ago. The same situation.
Anybody else? Any other question? Mr. Hess?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If I read that right, it says 500,000 for the bridge,
Correct.
and if we're paying 50%, it says we will use 50,000. That should be 250,000, right? The last paragraph in the resolution, it says, therefore be it resolved that the County of Kankakee approves the petition and we use 50,000 of county bridge funds.
I'm trying to.
Am I reading it right?
Engineer Township is going to pay a percentage. Last paragraph.
You know, I'm going to just take this off the agenda because I got to fix the language here. What we're intending to do is the federal government's going to pay 80% of the bridge, but that doesn't say that anywhere in here. So
Okay, all right.
And so we'll make that in English for next month. How's that?
Chairman Wheeler?
I'm not sure it's necessary. We can approve it with those changes and send it to finance with the changes, and then we'll finish it up there. So if we approve it with the 80%, and then you're saying 50 grand is our part of that,
Right.
20%.
That's that would be our share of the 20% would be 100,000.
Right.
The township's paying 50. We would pay the other 50.
Yeah. So we can just send that. We can send it forward just with that the motion. Yeah. It just doesn't have the 80% in there. So this is actually correct, but we want to add the language you're talking about to the 80%.
Okay.
So this math works. The 50 grand is the number. So we could approve it, just we'll change it. How about just for the full board? We'll put the 80% language in there for the full board. We're not changing the dollar amount, just we're putting in additional information. Terry, do you think that's acceptable?
I do.
Okay. Terry concurs that if we just put that extra paragraph in there to lay out the 80-20 rule, we'll be okay.
Okay, Mr. Long expressed the, I think you're gonna make a motion, correct?
Yes.
So what would be your motion?
My motion is to pay the 50,000 and to correct the language.
Okay, so I have a motion, a second, Ms. Weber? Okay, since this is to spend some money, I'm gonna need a roll call, please.
Mr. Carrico?
Aye.
Mr. Dennell?
Aye.
Mr. Hess?
Aye.
Ms. Weber?
Aye.
Mr. Featherling? Mr. Long?
Aye.
Mr. Hunter? Ms. Hudson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith? Mr. Raymond? Ms. Foster? Mr. Wheeler? Motion carries.
Thank you. All right, so we had, the reason I asked right away to move this up, because I know I was going to forget and he was gonna get up and start moving. So it's already in the way here.
Which brings us to other business, and if you thought spending $50,000 was bad, strap yourselves in, because we've got some equipment that's aging and we need to get it up to speed. And the first one up is our striper truck. It's built in 2002. The current one we have, it's starting to fall apart little by little, and we expect it to fall apart more little by little as we go. So we're proposing to refurbish this truck. The truck itself's in good shape. It's always in the garage, so there's no problem with the chassis and the engine and all that. It's all the equipment, the striping equipment that's on the back of the truck that needs updating. And their proposal here is to go through that and replace, refurbish, get us good again, so we're not spending time doing little repairs like we've been doing in the last year. Things go bad one by one. The striper is made by Easy Liner. They're the same company that would do the refurbish. We've tried going to other companies. They don't want to touch other people's stuff. A new striper is in the range of $600,000. So we've got a refurbished price in here. I'm pretty sure it was $170,000.
Yep.
And that we're expecting that to last 10 years. So I think that's kind of money well spent for this. With that said, any questions on this one?
Okay, Mr. Hunter?
Timetable?
We're almost done striping for the year. So the minute we're done, we can call them up. They'll pick it up. They have all winter to fix it. It'll be back next spring before we stripe again. If we were to order a new striper, if we ordered it now, we wouldn't see it till 2024.
And this comes from the highway fund, right?
Correct. And we've got money for it in our 2023 budget.
Okay. Ms. Weber?
Clarify, thank you. I have on one of these pages 170,500. Is that what your amount you're proposing?
Correct.
Or up to, or at least that, or?
And of course, I'm expecting them to find more things wrong, but you know, this pretty much covers just about everything. But I don't want to say always or never. There's something's bound to happen, but for this price, there shouldn't be that much beyond that.
So that's what your proposal is, the 170,500.
Right.
Okay.
Anybody else?
So do we need to take a vote on that, or?
Yeah, we're gonna need to have a vote to approve this. So we're gonna need a motion and a second. Ms. Hunter made a motion, second by Ms. Weber. Let's do a roll call, please.
Mr. Carrico?
Aye.
Mr. Dennell?
Aye.
Mr. Hess? Ms. Weber? Mr. Featherling? Mr. Long?
Aye.
Mr. Hunter? Ms. Hudson? Mr. Smith? Mr. Raymond? Ms. Foster? Mr. Wheeler? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right.
Ms. Hunter?
Yeah, Greg, can you bring, when you get it done, can we invite us over to take a look at it?
You're all welcome to come and look at it. I mean, it'll look like an old truck with new striping equipment on it now.
I like to see it, yeah.
Sure.
Or even bring it over to the parking lot here so we can take a look at it.
Try it out striping the alley or something or other.
Go ahead, sir.
And okay, next up, if you thought spending $170,000 was bad, here comes a great all. Our current great all was built in 2004. The same issues are going on with that as going on with the striping truck. You know, as it gets older, it's costing more and more to maintain. So we want to get a new grade all basically, and you can see we've got all kinds of data that was provided to us from the company. You can see the list price, or the price with discount is $535,000 for a new grade all. We can't do that. We can't pay cash for that. So they have options down below. Even the 24 months with $300,000 down, we can't handle that in our budget either. They've proposed other plans. They have all kinds of financing plans. The ones below say 48 months and 60 months with an interest rate. Unfortunately, the interest rates can only be locked in for 30 days. So that's as of right now. We won't be able to know what the terms are until May, when this would be delivered, because down below it says we don't pay until we get the thing. They can deliver it in next spring. I would like to put something down. We have money in our budget, but not $300,000. I want to get our payments down as part of that, get as big of a down payment as we can, so the payments are less per month, so we're not paying as much interest.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I know you're looking for a motion at this point, but we really don't know what you're going to pursue in terms of the terms. Have you checked to see if any of your comrades in other counties are going to be buying the same equipment, and you go in conjunction with them to buy, or the terms? I know with the city, we used to do that stuff with different municipalities.
It doesn't say this on the sheet, but I was told we were buying this through Sourcewell. So there's our bidder, or our, well, I don't know what you would say, they're finding the best price for us before we even get there. Oh. Everyone would be paying the Sourcewell price. It's not like we went out here and came up with this number on our own. This was an actual.
Could they identify maybe some other counties that are going to buy the same equipment?
That didn't come up. We didn't ask.
Okay.
This price would be good for everybody, whether it was us or some other county.
I know, but if XYZ counties, let's say 3 or 4 of them are going to do this, I mean, in conjunction, maybe the price could go down a little bit. I don't know, or the terms could go down.
Well, Sourcewell's negotiated that price already. I don't imagine that price is going to change.
You assume that?
Well, it's kind of like a state bid. Sourcewell is.
Yeah. Well, you know, my daughter always says, you know, one thing I learned from my daddy: never take no for an answer. But anyway, okay, I'm just posing those questions to you.
Yeah, I think there's already a 4% discount built into this price. I mean, 4 doesn't sound like much, but it's better than 0.
Okay, we got 3 requests here. I'm gonna go with Mr. Featherland first.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Greg, are these things out there on the not used market, but refurbished and reconditioned or repossessed, or ones that, you know, some excavating company goes out of business and they auction them off or anything like that, that you can buy these where they don't cost that much money, or that's just the way it is? And
well, sure. I mean, they're available everywhere. It's just like a used car, though. You buy what everyone else. You don't know what the previous owner did to it, and when we buy new, like our maintenance staff is they're pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Stuff doesn't fall apart when they can work on it. If we inherit somebody's, you don't know it's a problem until you bought it half the time. If something's hidden,
a lot of those. A lot of the refurbished companies, don't they sell them with like a year warranty on them or whatever sometimes?
Yeah, I know they're giving us a warranty on the striper, but we haven't gone down that refurbished avenue for the Gradall at all.
Okay, are you getting any allowance for the one you have now, like a trade-in amount or anything like that?
We would probably sell it on Gov deals and probably get good money for it, but it's being the age of it, we're expecting $25,000 to $50,000. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you.
Chairman Wheeler?
Thank you. So I was going to ask the state bid question. Is this on a state bid price list? And I asked follow up.
I don't know if state bid has this. I know this is a Sourcewell item.
Okay, I just didn't know, because that's something where we're guided by is a state bid list, and I don't know if this equipment's on it. It's never come up. I know like Tahoes and pickup trucks and plows and stuff like that is on state bid, but I don't know if own equipment is.
I've never seen this in the short time I've been here on state bid.
Yeah, and so the refurbished question, I guess, that I would have is, it seems to me, well, first of all, what's the normal life of a piece of equipment like this? What do you expect to get when you spend $500,000?
In our hands, I expect a lot of life out of it. We treat our equipment well, and they maintain it well. I can't tell you an average for everybody, but
2003 was this one?
2004.
2004. So you would expect the same people working on it.
Right.
Okay.
And this is a brand new. This is a brand new machine. Everything from top to bottom. So we would have control of it and not know. There will be no mysteries when we work on it. We know what we've done to it and what needs to get done.
I just would add to Mr. Featherling's statement, it is good to look at that market, but from our point of view, if we're seeing metal shavings in the gearboxes and different types of hydraulic areas, it might be time to move on, because that's really expensive. And that's what we would be buying from somebody else on the refurbished side. We could be buying something that has a similar type issue.
Maybe. You never know.
You never know. Yeah. So.
If you look in those big newspapers that come up there, they send them out, they got
all the equipment in there and stuff like that.
Trade magazines.
Yeah, trade magazines, auctions. There's
we get them.
Huge equipment. I'm sure they send it to you every day. It seems to me like you could do a lot of repairs if you can buy one for $100 a quarter, which I think I was looking at them for some of the stuff along the river we were talking about, and I was looking at them and it seemed like, $150 grand you could buy a used one, so you could do a lot of repairs for $450,000.
It's the cost of repairs and the amount of downtime, I guess, would
Okay.
figure into it too. If it's sitting there getting repaired, it's not getting out there doing any work either. So,
Well, a lot of people would like a new Cadillac, but sometimes they have to buy a, used one and take that chance. So,
Ms. Weber?
Thank you. I just wondered, on these terms here, which one do you prefer for your budget? The 48, the 60, what months to do?
we're still trying to figure that out. We know the 300,000 down isn't gonna work. We don't have that money. So it's somewhere in the bottom two options with some amount placed down to lessen our monthly payments.
And you put it into your budget so you can go forward?
We're gonna have money in the budget for that. And the only problem is we don't know what our interest rate's gonna be till May.
Yes.
And they can't lock it in until we actually take delivery of it.
What do you need today? What would you prefer to have today, a motion to go forward?
A motion to purchase it, get it on, get our order in for delivery in May, and if you, I can't lock down the interest rate and the down payment. I can't lock down the interest rate, so I don't know if I put a down payment there without an interest rate, it's still going to be a little bitty math problem there. So I can't specifically state exactly what it is. I just know where we're aiming. I don't know if that's it.
Now, if you're looking for a motion to move this forward, but we don't know exactly what the number is gonna be for the down payment, so
It'll
would
be-
you suggest for us to proceed, maybe like giving like the highest amount, not to exceed a specific, dollar amount?
No.
I could see a down payment of $150,000, and then the monthly payments for the rest of the year will keep us within our budget, regardless of what the interest rate is. I guess I don't expect it to go sky high, but we'll see.
Chairman Wheeler?
Throwing something out there to see if it works. If this committee believes that, yes, we want to get the new grader, allow the 535, 636.99, and then have him bring back the financing plan to the finance committee. And then we'll be deciding on the financing part of it at the finance committee. We would be to say, yes, we want the grader, or no, whatever the case may be. But we think it's at this price, it's the right thing to do. And then defer the financing aspect, for give him some time to work on it, see what fits best in his budget, bring that to finance.
That
If
makes
you
sense.
agree.
Yeah, it makes sense. So we send it, if it goes through here, so go to the finance make decision, give you time, so you can go back from after the finance to the full board. Mr. Hunter?
Greg, can you research, and I'm not just, it's not shooting at the moon here, but can you find out from, I don't know, Senator Joyce or Jackie or somebody, with this infrastructure money that we're going to be getting, do you know if indeed equipment purchasing would be a part of that?
Are you talking about the river grant?
Well, no, I'm saying in terms of the infrastructure money that's coming down from the federal government through the state, if indeed they allow for purchasing of equipment as well too. Do you know? I don't even
I
know.
can
but
inquire. I don't have an answer for you.
yeah, just call Pat and let his staff find out.
Okay.
So if indeed, and then just like what's today? Today's Thursday. I think it was yesterday, and Pat had told, and Senator Joyce had told me before that he was acquiring money from some other place. He told me where, but I just forgot, to help out the sheriff. I think it was the amount of $150,000. You may want to see if he can find some money as well too to help us with this.
I will do that.
Because he has district money which he allocates, and he has been able to help all the fire departments and police departments and stuff. And you may want to check with Pat to find out, what he can find in terms of money. So before, because maybe between now and the finance meeting, maybe you'll have something that you can share with the finance committee.
Okay.
In terms of a source. Because I know he's done that.
All right, we'll do.
Mr. Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Ms. Donna?
I'm gonna make the motion that we proceed, lined out as, Mr. Wheeler lined it out for us.
I'll second it.
Okay, before the vote, I believe that Ms. Long had a question here. Go ahead.
Thank you. So, the unit that we have currently, is it also a Volvo?
Is it also what?
A Volvo? Isn't that
It's Gradall's their own
Grade-
brand. So we're placing brand for brand.
brand for brand? And it comes with a warranty.
I couldn't tell you what.
It does, I'm sure.
If you
So
want.
we're kind of in the same situation we are with the snow plows. We can sit on our hands and not order it and risk not having the equipment we need for next spring. We're gonna do it through a company that has already done the bid process for us. And I just kind of did the quick math. If it lasts 20 years, a little over $26,000 a year is what it's going to cost us to own that. However, it will have residual value at the end of its life. So it seems pretty appropriate to me, like the snowplows, that we get on with it and get it ordered and figure out the financing at some later date.
I'm not arguing with you.
I'm just making a statement.
Anybody else, any other comments or questions? Okay, we have a motion and a second, Ms. Weber. So that's to move, to go forward with the purchase, to move that to finance. So then finance will review and give them time to come up with numbers that will go to the full board. Okay, we got a motion and a second, so it will be a roll call, please.
Mr. Carrico?
Aye.
Mr. Gentle?
Aye.
Mr. Hess?
Aye.
Ms. Weber?
Aye.
Mr. Featherling?
Aye.
Mr. Long?
Aye.
Mr. Hunter?
Aye.
Ms. Hudson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Raymond?
Aye.
Ms. Foster? Mr. Wheeler? Motion carries.
Thank you. Do you have anything else for us?
That's it. I'm done spending your money.
Plenty.
It's your money. Okay, next on the agenda. Buildings. Mr. Andrews. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. All right, facility dude report for the month of September had 163 work orders. We are very busy. We have a lot going on. You know, there's a lot of projects going on within the county, extra stuff that we have to do in addition to our normal work schedules. So kudos, you know, to my staff for you know, handling the normal workload plus everything extra that's been added with several of the county projects that are either underway or getting ready to kick off. So financial report, you've got that in front of you there. Really nothing abnormal. 982, 930 on the year versus 848, 950. You know, we've talked about the building improvements under 87, 510. Those, I believe, are going to now stay in my budget. Chairman Wheeler, is there anything you want to add on that right now, or is that appropriate to discuss at this time?
We were just going to tap the brakes on that and make sure, take a look at our year end and what our other projects are costing. Because when I say projects, it's the court management system, which is many millions of dollars, and the basement refurb. With the increased costs that we're seeing in a lot of these projects that we're working on, it's already contained within the general fund. We've already got it accounted for in the general fund. So we were thinking of leaving Wes's expenses the way they are instead of moving some of them into ARPA, because we should leave some in ARPA right now. We've already booked those costs, they're already accounted for. Our year end is estimated, so there's little impact to overall bottom line by keeping it the way it is. But if we move the money, it could hamstring us by a couple $100,000 on other things the board's committed to do. So we felt it was best to kind of tap the brakes, and we could always make that move if we need to, once we get final cost on some of these other projects. Because if you remember, everything's 20-30% higher than it was when we first laid out our budgets. So that's why I said we're just going to hold off for a minute, if you agree.
So I'm going to be over budget substantially, so don't hold that against me.
No.
It's my fault.
Any questions on the financial report? Mr. Hunter?
Yeah, let me just ask you this. And it impacts, the financial report and the budget and all this other stuff. How old is Jerome Combs now?
No, pushing 20, probably 18.
Okay. And you've articulated at each meeting almost, if my memory serves me correctly, now we got to pay the piper in terms of stuff starting to erode, equipment's antiquated and breaking down and so forth. What kind of futuristic plans do you have in order to address, the problems that exist now that it's 20 years old and things are starting to fall apart?
Well, my budget, how I've always viewed it is, I tend to spend on an as-needed basis. And when these, we've talked about preventative maintenance, yes. And a lot of the, we do preventative maintenance on, many of our critical systems. So, our generator systems, we do preventative maintenance on. Our UPS systems, we do preventative maintenance on. Our HVAC controls out at Jerome Combs, we do preventative maintenance on. So we try to do the preventative maintenance on as much as we can. We try to focus it on the critical systems, so those things, when we need them to work, they're operational. But there's stuff, I have expenses when I get to my building report out at Jerome Combs. A lot of these electronic systems, even a lot of your HVAC controls, once you get up over 20 years,
that's what I'm saying.
You got to plan on spending some money, but it's just hard for me with my budget each and every year. When you spend it as you have to, it's not like I have a surplus, in my budget. I would love to say, yeah, I need, $300,000 extra in my budget next year to address aging HVAC equipment here in this building or wherever. But, with our constraints financially, that's just something that I've never been able to do. We try to address them as they come up and do as much preventative maintenance as we can, while trying to spend our money, frugally.
Using your own words, though, but once you get past 20 years, right, things are going to fall apart.
Right.
So...
Right.
Okay.
Anything else on the finances? All right, well, moving on to building report here at 189, getting ready for winter. Obviously, getting heat to the upper floors of this building is always a struggle. So we've been bleeding air, trying to get things ready for winter. We also got to make sure we have adequate heat in the penthouse with our elevator equipment up there as well. So that's something that I've been keeping an eye on. The elevator insurance claim has been finalized. They approved the additional expenditures. They had an adjuster out a few weeks ago. Final payment was issued the first week of October, and I've yet to see anything on that, so I'm anxiously awaiting those funds for the extra repair work that was needed for that elevator project. We have contract negotiations on Tuesday for the staff in my department, so that's something that's coming up. Moving on to the courthouse. We talked at this committee last month about the possibility of adding a generator to the elevator. My thought was to place it on the roof near the elevator controls. The issue with that is there's no natural gas near the elevator components. So you're looking at a small generator on the ground and running gas pipe or either putting the generator on the ground, running the gas to it, and then running your electrical up 3.5 stories, or putting the generator on the roof and running gas piping up 3.5 stories. So there's really no. Sure, Mr. Featherling.
Mr. Featherling?
Can you run it on propane on the roof and not have to do that? Because all you got to do is turn the valve on a Generac to get it to go from natural gas to.
Right, but I mean, I just think.
How long is it going to run?
Yeah, but then you're looking at hauling propane through the courthouse, up the stairs. That to me is probably clumsy to do it that way. I get it.
They'll run a long time on a 100-pound tank.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, it's something maybe I could look into, but the concern would just be how do we get the propane up through the jail and up to the roof and whatnot. But it's a good idea, yeah, because it's an issue.
You got if you need a quick fix, there it is, and then you could do the pipe.
Right.
You know,
And then the secondarily to that
turn the
is
knob and run it.
placing the generator on the roof. There's some question as to being able to put it on the roof. We might have to build a structure to support it on the roof, so I've got our architect involved in that, along with a local electrician that's working on that for us as well. So it's something that I'm still looking for possible solutions, and then that brings me to the next point. I'm working with Delbert and getting the courthouse generator added to the hazard mitigation program for the county. That's, as I understand it, a couple years off, but at least that gives us a long-term solution that may be wholly or in part funded by Chairman Wheeler. Who funds that? FEMA. So we're working on that. So I'll look at the temporary propane to see how that might impact this, but it's still something that we all believe needs to happen in some way, shape, or form. So I'll continue working on that. Pre-construction meeting is looks like it's going to be set for 10/20 with Doug Bright and then PSI. As all of you know, they were the low bidder on the basement project. So that's going to be on the 20th, which I believe is Thursday of next week. We're looking at a potential start date of demo for November 7th in the courthouse. So there's been a lot of moving parts on this, and like I said, this is just one more thing that has taken a lot of my attention and then my staff as well. Getting ready for this project. We're moving shelving. We're assisting Sandy with her files as we move those to a temporary storage location at one of our buildings here in the county. So that's something that we've been working on. Also, 2 weeks ago, we had our inspection with the Illinois Attorney General's office. If you remember, back in 2020, we finalized our ADA improvements on the basement ramp and then courtroom 204. So they came out, they had all of their measuring equipment, and they were measuring things to, a 1/16 of an inch on the ramp. And so they told me everything looked good, but our architect cautioned me. He said, yeah, they tell you it looks good, and then you get a letter in the mail with what you need to do. So like I said, they said everything looks good. So unless I get a letter in the mail with something that didn't check out, I'm to assume that all of our improvements there at the courthouse on an ADA basis met the spec as they were supposed to. So good news there. Annex and old jail. The chiller, our new chiller for the annex, is due in January. I talked to them yesterday. They will put it in January when it arrives, so we're ready for spring. The temp unit is gone. We switched that out on October 5th, so we timed that pretty good because I just switched the building over to winter operation yesterday. So the temp unit was needed. We did have days that were, well over 80 degrees, and it would have been very uncomfortable in that building. So the temporary unit, while it was expensive, it was certainly money well spent, in my opinion. The old jail spring projects, there's a lot of cracks. That building is in bad need of tuck pointing. The windows are in need of caulking, and then there's also issues with where the roof line meets the rest of the building. That needs attention as well. So depending on what the use of that jail looks like moving forward, I know with cashless bail there's a lot of discussion right now in the law enforcement community about inmates and jails and numbers and whatnot. So if we plan to continue to operate that facility for any length of time this spring, we're going to have to spend some money there on some exterior improvements. Even the roof, one of our lower sections of roof is in need of some repair, and that's an old building. That's to be expected, I would suppose, at this point during its lifetime. JCDC, the morgue, the electric door is done. We installed an electric door for Mr. Gessner. That's completed. We're looking at paint and booking right now. The sheriff's asked me to look at a few different things. The booking area, the cells are in bad shape. The floors out there, there's all of our epoxy floors are peeling, so we're starting to look into some options there. Even the showers in the jail are peeling, so I'm starting to get some numbers on that as well. I've met with a few contractors over the last week, so I got some numbers coming in on that. I'll be able to share those with you at next month's meeting. Even the kitchen floors in need of cleaning, so that's something that we're looking to do after hours. And then the UPS systems that I've talked about. So we had them PM'd about a month ago, and the findings were, we've got one unit that is I think it's original to the building, so it's an 18-year-old unit. It manages the lights in half of the main hallway. So when the power goes out, the UPS picks up the lights, and it's just so long as until the generator picks up. And that unit that covers half the hallway is 18 years old, and parts are not available for it. So it still is working at this point in time, but it's something that our vendor and I have identified as probably an expense for 2023, something that we're going to have to look at doing, because yeah, if we did lose that, there's no parts available for it. So that could be upwards of $30,000 to do that UPS that I'm referencing here. There are also other batteries, something that I'm going to probably push and have to get done sooner rather than later. We have some batteries that are in need of replacement as well. Probably looking at possibly $10,000 or more on our batteries. And then the other thing that was identified is they said we are burning through our batteries faster than we should because of the temperature in some of these rooms. So I'm looking at the possibility of adding some inexpensive cooling devices in some of these areas. But that was news to me, because that's how these rooms have operated the same way for the last 20 years. So I've talking to a couple different people in the industry, and that seems to be the same statement is, yeah, those rooms should be temperature controlled if in fact you can do that. So that's something that I'm looking into doing here, just getting some numbers together. So that's all I got.
Any questions, comments?
It's real quick, Wes. Your team needs a pat on the back from the board and everybody else, because Wes understated it. They're doing a great job. We're asking a lot of them over and above what they normally do. I mean, they're demoing stuff over at the Treasurer's Building so we can get all the books and shelving over there. I mean, they're jumping, and we appreciate it. And then the fact that Wes and I talk, seems like these days almost every day. We might need to take a look at his budget. While it's something that has to be maintained and watched, and we have to make critical decisions, it's really almost like the coroner with the autopsy budget. You just never know what you're going to get through the course of a year. So you have to be accepting of a little bit of a wiggle room, but you still have to manage it. And Wes is doing a good job, I think, balancing that.
Thank you.
The committee needed to hear that, because every day it's a discussion of, do we need to spend $250,000 on these windows? Are we going to have prisoners after this, the Safety Act takes hold? Those are legitimate questions, and if he doesn't voice that, then maybe I wouldn't think of it. We're on the same page there, but it's that kind of thought process that really stops that number from going over $1 million, and I've seen that there before.
Yeah, thank you.
So,
I do get a lot of questions. People obviously want nice offices, they want nice facilities, they want paint, they want carpet, they want it clean, they want, and I try to, say yes as much as I can, if you know what I mean.
And the other thing too, though, the budget that was passed before was in different price for different things. Items now is a lot more expensive. So, there's an adjustment when it comes to how much, you're paying for things right now.
For sure.
All right, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right, moving on. Any old business? Any old business? Any new business? Any new business? Okay. Need a motion to adjourn. Ms. Hudson, second. Ms. Smith. Okay, Mr. Smith. Everybody in favor signify by say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? The same sign.